Our final topic, let's talk about Michelle Visage, who was finally revealing why RuPaul asked her to host Drag Race Down Under. Now, I'm going to be honest, Drag Race Down Under is not one of my favorite franchises. I have tried so hard to get into that franchise. Canada's Drag Race was not a popular franchise for me either. I did get into it this past season. Like, I think this season, the last season they had of Canada's Drag Race was the one time I actually watched the full season. It's probably because Marlene Vertiga was a part of it. So that was the only time. And all her stuff trending on social media. She was feeling her goats and all this other stuff, what she was saying. That's what drew me into watching Canada's Drag Race. Other than that, those people on that show is insufferable. Plus the drag be looking a hot ass mess. Like, I feel like there needs to be, and I don't know, people gonna get mad because I want to say all drag is valid, whatever. But I'm sorry, but if you're going to be doing drag, whatever, there needs to be certain rules to apply when it comes on this show. I do not need to be seeing you giving me drag if you're not wearing titties, if you got your penis print exposed, you need to tuck. So I don't want y'all to be giving me no kind of, crazy drag where's like you giving me boy in a damn dress. Like, some of y'all actually need to be putting in that work in regards to like the whole drag situation if you're going to be a part of a drag show. But it's like, if you say this stuff, then it's like you're invalidating people's drag or whatever the case says. We have to give this to this. But so it's not even about the drag, it's about trying to hit every box or check every box because you want to validate everybody when everybody ain't gonna win a trophy. That's just the way it is in life. Not everybody's getting a participation trophy. You either win or you don't, or try better next time, or go for all stars. But I could never really get into Drag Race Canada because a lot of them drag queens on there, y'all drag be looking a mess. And Down Under, I could never get into it too because a lot of y'all, a lot of the challenges they were doing were just not interesting. It wasn't giving, and I just didn't care. And it just looked like RuPaul didn't give a damn either, just doing that show. But Michelle Visage, was confirmed to replace Ru. What was it, like last month or maybe a couple of months back? And then it said, while it made perfect sense for Visage would take over for Mama Ru, a few questions remain within the fandom. Like, when, how, and why did this happen? So, and that was one of my answers because I was sitting there like, you know what? I don't really mind Michelle hosting Down Under, but I know a lot of people, including Willem, did not like the idea of a cis woman hosting a show when they should have hired a drag queen. Particularly, she did mention Courtney Act, which, for what I've been told many a times and many people have been saying on social media, Ru and Courtney Act do not get along. I don't know what the issue was. I don't know what transpired or what happened between them. If y'all know, let me know down in the comments. But for the most part, people were saying like they don't get along. So, but then I do feel like I'll give my opinion in a second on what I feel about the whole situation. But she said Ru has a massive #1 best-selling book and had a book tour, and it wasn't even a conversation. This is what she explained on the UK talk show Loose Women. He just said, "You're going to do this, right?" I was like, "Well, yes, I am." And for those of you who don't know, Loose Women is like the British version of The View. So they have that over. I find that's such a hilarious name, though, Loose Women, because that could mean anything. So when asked about whether she's feeling any pressure to follow in the footsteps of her longtime friend and collaborator, Visage explained, now weirdly, I feel like people are going to compare, but it's not fair because Ru is Ru and I am myself. But that's going to happen no matter what. I just have to focus on what I'm there to do, which is to help those kids be the best that they can be, shine, and give them the critique that they deserve, good or bad. Later in the interview, Visage talked about having zero idea that the Drag Race franchise would have a significant of pop culture impact in the world, saying that you can't know that. When you set out on a show, whether you're acting, singing, performing, or presenting, you hope it's going to be the next big thing. You hope it's going to last 15 seasons. You all have been here forever as well, so it's a gift, but you never know. She also added by saying, sometimes I've done shows where I'm like, oh, this is it. This is an award winner. And then it's gone in a week. So you just don't know. Well, funny enough, I kind of knew based off of watching RuPaul's Drag Race, the potential that it had. I was in college when the first RuPaul's Drag Race came out, the first season. And I was supposed to be working on my film school stuff, but instead Chris was there watching episodes of Drag Race because I didn't have Logo, and Logo wasn't this big channel that you could get. So I was in my class on the computer, supposed to be editing, and I'm watching RuPaul's Drag Race. And first season one with the crazy filter and everything, where everything was blurred. And RuPaul's Drag Race has come a long way. So I knew like the potential because people, RuPaul's career was kind of like in the toilet at that point, and this was a way for him to resurrect his career. And it was perfect because it's like America's Next Top Model meets Project Runway, but with drag queens. Like that totally works. And RuPaul being someone who has proven themselves and solidified themselves as like this big mainstream drag queen, the show is perfect. It works. So it came at the right time, which was what, 2009? Came at the right time and it did what it did. But I do agree. Who knew that it would become the phenomenon that it is today, especially when you have all these different spin-offs and then you have a convention like a drag con. You have this big convention that supports all these queens to come in with the merch and sell things and all this other stuff and have them do what they do. So I love that the machine that it's built. Although I would say that it is time for other drag type of shows. If this is what it's going to be, there should be other aspects of drag showcased on television that we should see, not just RuPaul's Drag Race being the end all be all. I know we have Can't Wanna Kiki. I know we also have Dragula, which shows more of an alternative horror drag, the filth part of drag culture, the more alternative side. And they're very much more open to showing all different types of drag, which would be, drag kings go on the show, and then we have all types of other, styles of drag that gets to be highlighted, which I absolutely love that Dragula presents that side. But I do feel like that we need other aspects of showcasing drag, like drag performers, like drag people, drag queens who actually get up there and they dance and they give like that sort of stuff. Like I want to see other aspects of drag. It's not just the only aspect of what RuPaul is showing, like real drag queens and real competitive type shit. I know everybody been saying that we need like a Big Brother type of drag show. Like that would be a key. Like we could see drag queens in a Big Brother type setting. That would be dope. Or maybe if we had something like drag race meets the traders. Like if we had something like that, that would be lit. I would love to see something like that. Or drag queens like So You Think You Could Dance with drag queens. Let me stop giving away all my damn ideas. So, but then in regards to the whole Michelle Visage situation, um, well, look, if the opportunity presents itself, y'all need a host. I'll host them shows. But anyway, but in regards to the Michelle Visage situation, I think I would have loved to have seen a drag queen host Drag Race. Like, I think drag queens should be hosting a show about drag, or like a show about drag. Or if you're a fan of drag, if you're someone who grew up and is a fan of drag but doesn't do drag like myself, I love drag. I would host the show, but I'm not judging it. I would let drag queens get up there and judge. But if there was ever a show about drag queens, y'all needed a host, I'd be the pray tell of the show and kind of give that side of it and not just me doing drag. Or if I have to, I was like, y'all can make me, I'll put on an outfit and I'll do some drag just as the host, where I could walk a mile in these people's shoes and the fans at home could be, the naysayers could shut the hell up. So I say all this to say this will be probably the one time I'll probably sit through a couple of episodes, maybe even a season of Drag Race Down Under, and I'll see if Michelle has what it takes to host. But look, we got a taste of her hosting when she did UK versus was it UK? Yeah, it was UK versus the world. In the beginning, when Ru was sick, y'all heard it. We was all congested and stuff, and then Michelle came in halfway through, I think, episode 2, and she basically was doing hosting duties. I think that was the opportunity for her to showcase herself as a host. But I don't know if it has anything to do with him selling that, promoting the book or whatever. I just think RuPaul just his heart was not into hosting Down Under, and he was just ready to pass a baton to another queen. But then there's also raises the question, and then we'll get off of it. Do you think that RuPaul is at a place where he's ready to hang it up as the host of Drag Race? And if that is what's going to happen, who would be the who would be a good queen to successfully pass the torch down to host Drag Race? Because if you're going to be putting it in a situation where you're going to have Michelle Visage hosting other spinoffs or one of the spinoffs, does this mean like, okay, in the next 4 or 5 years, Ru's looking at it as like, okay, I'm ready to step down from doing Drag Race, and I'll be on as an executive producer, but I'm ready to bring in some fresh meat to host the show. And who out there, since the show is all about trying to become not the next RuPaul, but to be in the same playing field as Ru, who would be a good host? I don't know if I can think of anybody off the top of my head that would be a good successor. But I mean, I do like Nikki Doll on France one. I think the new season of Drag Race France comes out this week, right? I was like, I love Nikki Doll. I love Pajana Hills. I don't know what happened with Philippine, well, not Philippines, because she wasn't on that one. She was on Thailand one. I think they canceled that one. I did like the Philippines one. I like what was it? I love UK. I kind of wish RuPaul would have hosted the Canada one, because I don't particularly care for Canada. And I think, with me, if I had a bunch of spinoffs, I'm hosting all the English language ones. And then I'll have everybody else do the spinoffs. Because that's a check. And I can write that shit off in my taxes. But anyway, I know I went on a while for this one. Let me know what you guys think about this story down below, because I definitely want to hear your thoughts. Are you guys here for Michelle Visage hosting Down Under? Let me know down below. All right, so we got comments, and then we will be out of here with today's show. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They said they mean girl those episodes. It was meant to be funny, but didn't read as tongue in cheek. And that's what it is. You got to be able to find that balance. Like, to me, I always feel like if you're gonna do like a review, like with me, when I do reviews and stuff, I realize when you critique stuff, you have to find that balance, which is I'm gonna read you, but I'm gonna give you some constructive criticism. I'm gonna throw some jokes in there. And I'm gonna kind of finesse it in a way where it doesn't come off being mean-spirited, because I don't like mean girl shit. Like, I will cuss your ass out with that. I don't like bullies. I don't like mean-spirited stuff. So if you're gonna you have to come from a place of, you know what? You criticize, but you mean well. So you have to find that balance. And to me, Violet Chachki and Got Milk have like this whole, they do give mean girl energy type situation to these type of situations, which is why I think it rubbed people the wrong way. Like, I don't want that y'all a little too damn sensitive that y'all can't take a joke. I don't like that stuff. But yeah, for the most part, I do have an issue with people who are just, mean for the sake of being mean. So I do agree with that. It said freedom of expression is valid. Doing it for fame and money ruins it for everybody else. Venus from Canada, in my humble opinion. That's who I was reading when I was talking about that with the tuck in and all that other stuff. That's who I was talking. Look, we here. That's what I was talking about. She was horrible. It's like, first of all, I'm seeing your dick print. You wasn't even tucking. You had boy chest. You had minimal makeup on. Your wigs looked a mess, and you sitting up in here winning a show. Like, are you kidding me? But if you critique people in a way, then you get these people who don't know shit about drag, who have never really interacted, mingled with, or partaken in drag culture, which I was practically raised in, going to many gay clubs back in the 2000s on down, maybe even earlier than that. Sneaking into clubs and stuff when I was in the late 90s, because I was going into clubs, finding ways of getting up in there. I think we all did that. We all snuck up in the clubs coming up in New York and shit. There was always ways if you knew the right people. I knew a lot of DJs, still do. I knew a lot of promoters, still do. So, when you go and you critique it, then people want to go out here and say, make their little, comments. Oh, you're being transphobic, or you're being this. It's like, no, it's not that. If you're going to come up in here looking a hot ass mess, you're going to get critiqued. And be like, sis, if you're going to come out here and you're going to give drag, like one of the one-on-one things, I mean, unless you're, giving me drag like Kevin Aviance, who doesn't tuck, then I can understand that. And there are drag queens who don't tuck, that give bearded drag. Like, I like a bearded drag queen. But a lot of times the bearded queens do fit the criteria of they're wearing the boobs, they're tucking, or if you have, I'm a queen that does chest hair. Like, I don't mind any of that other stuff. But as long as you still giving me drag illusion and you fit in the confines of that, then yes, you can't be doing drag and then your wig look a mess, like it ain't been combed in a week. You don't even bother putting chest in to give the illusion you got boobs. You're not even tucking. And then your clothes look a mess. It's like, but this is the drag that you're trying to present, and this is what you're winning over. So yeah, Venus should not have won.